Living in a city with public transportation is great. But even the staunchest rail rider needs his own wheels sometimes. For the past 8 years, car sharing has filled these gaps for me in the form of Zipcar, which lets me rent any of its vehicles by the hour or the day just by scanning in with my membership card. Well, I recently had the opportunity to test drive another service that does basically the same thing, but with a bit more class and a lot more technology for a much lower price tag. I'm MrMobile, and this is Maven. Fundamentally, Maven works almost exactly like its more established competition. You make a reservation on your phone or computer for a certain number of hours, choose a pickup location, and then you go find your car. Now, where Zipcar gives you a membership card to scan in at the start of a rental, the entire Maven process is handled from your iPhone or Android. This has the advantage of streamlining the experience. You don't need to carry a card that you could possibly lose or leave at home. But it also slows things down. You need to be within 10 feet of the car for the app to function, and on Android at least, sometimes it takes so long to connect that you're better off restarting the app. Also, as of press time, you need a data connection on your phone for the unlock command to work. So if you leave cellular coverage, don't expect to be able to get back into your car if you lock it. Maven tells me this will be corrected by the end of February 2017. Fortunately, my 4 days with Maven never took me outside of T-Mobile's coverage area, despite my pushing the limits of Maven's daily mileage allowance. I drove from the city streets of Boston, through the suburbs of New England, and crossed on a ferry to the countryside of Long Island's East End. This burned a lot of fuel in the gas-guzzling Cadillac ATS I chose for my test drive, but refueling with Maven is as free as the insurance coverage. There's a card above the sun visor that most major gas stations will read as an ordinary credit card. The only thing you need to be ready for is to enter your odometer reading at each refueling, which, FYI, isn't always the easiest thing to find in today's computerized car cockpits. And if all this fossil fuel talk sounds a little last century to you, and you'd rather cruise on electric power, Maven has EVs too. Specifically, the Chevy Volt plug-in hybrid I tested last year. What do Chevy and Cadillac have in common? They're both from General Motors, which also owns the Maven brand. So the entire rental fleet comprises GM vehicles, and while there are a variety of models available, most of them tend toward higher trim levels. This is where Maven really stands apart from Zipcar and Enterprise. You're much more likely to find luxuries like lane keeping and auto park, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay and OnStar, and heated seats and steering wheels in the Maven fleet. These are cars that come equipped to convey you in comfort. Cars that can kick out their own Wi-Fi hotspots. Cars you could impress a date with. And the hood ornament on top of it all, Maven is significantly cheaper than the competition, at least for now. While a Tahoe or a Cadillac will still charge you, Cadillac prices, in my market, a Chevy Malibu or Volt is $8 an hour. Those rates are really hard to find on Zipcar these days. There's also no annual membership fee on Maven. So, what's the catch? Well, Zipcar has had over 16 years to build out a fleet of rental cars that you can find in over 30 metro markets, 500 college campuses, and 50 airports across the nation. Well, GM launched Maven just a year ago, so if you want to find one, you need to live in one of only 7 cities. And even then, take my experience. I have 9 Zipcars within a 1-minute walk of my front door. But to get to the closest Maven, I have to take a train 5 or 6 stops and then walk 15 minutes. I'm sure GM is keen to close that gap as quickly as it can, and as its footprint continues to spread, I do expect the per-hour prices to climb, just as they did with Zipcar. But GM is betting that car sharing is the future of urban transportation, and given the amount of money you can save by joining one of these services instead of buying, insuring, and fueling your own vehicles, I'm inclined to agree. If you're looking for a fancier, techier, and for the moment cheaper alternative to Zipcar, keep an eye on Maven and see if it's coming to your city. And if you do want to buy your own set of wheels, check out my full review of the Chevy Volt and in-depth preview of the Tesla Model 3 on the MrMobile YouTube channel, and remember to subscribe while you're there for more videos just like this one. Until next time, thanks for watching, and stay mobile, my friends.